it was my appendix. It had exploded, and I'd had this rare thing where it had attached itself to my bowel and formed an abscess, which is why I didn't die. So all the goo and the poison was in this abscess because my body went, I'm not going to let you kill me. So it sort of fought against it.
It's
But
that
I didn't
northern
let.
spirit. Thank you for coming and having a chat with me on Mumming on Empty, chats from the staff room. Um, you're Karen, I'm Kat, and this is Lazy Dog.
Lazy dog Molly.
Oh, look at her. Isn't she gorgeous? Right, so tell me about your career before you had kids. What did it look like?
Well, my mum was a hairdresser,
Okay.
and I honestly just believed when I was about 5 that that's just what you did when you grew up.
Oh,
So my earliest memory is her stopping me from cutting my fringe off,
I
and
did.
I just sort of just yeah. Why did we think that was appropriate with Crayola scissors? And I actually was academic, which people find surprising because we're all thick as hairdressers, aren't we?
Aren't we just?
And I had a really good English teacher, but she was good in the fact that she could see my academia and wanted to push us all to university, but that's just not what I wanted. So I hid from her that I was going into hairdressing. Did it anyway, but I couldn't get an apprenticeship because I'd done A levels, and at that time, I don't know if it's any different now,
You were
they
too
didn't want
old.
you unless you were 16. They got to pay you 1 pence more.
I had a similar thing. So I started with an apprenticeship at like 17 and a bit.
Yeah. Oh no, too old.
And then by the time awful situations, I was 19. So I had to go and
Yeah.
pay to finish off my training.
Yeah, yeah. So I went into a well-known salon at the time and went, can I, is there any chance of taking me on an apprenticeship or whatever? And they were quite rude and basically as good as, didn't exactly throw me out, but that's how I felt. And I thought, okay, I'll do it another way. So I didn't know at the time apprenticeship versus college versus, I didn't know. I was just trying to be a hairdresser. So I went to college and applied, and like nothing is ever easy for me because I had to pay to go to college despite being skint. There was a thing out at the time called EMA. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, educational maintenance
It was
allowance.
like a little grant that you used to
Yeah,
get.
yeah,
But
yeah.
because I went to a college that was like the next city to me, I didn't qualify for it. So I had to pay all my fees while all my mates got it for free. And I think two of us by the end of the 3 years was still going, and I thought, why am I one of the ones that didn't get the free stuff and I'm one of the ones that's done it? So that was kind of the theme for the rest of my life. So I got into a good job actually, and my boss put me through the Weller MCA, whatever it was called then. And there's no way I could have afforded that then. So I just took everything that I could. And I still know her and I'm still friends with her now. But it was kind of a hard way to do it because when you're thrown in from college, and this is one of the things that I think all you influencers are quite good at now. There's if you've done it college route, you go in for your first day in the salon, you have a mentee bee.
You will have a mentor.
They don't really, and I've been a college lecturer, so I'm not blaming college lecturers. It doesn't really prepare you, does it? There needs to be something else.
It's a bit like learning to drive, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Off you go now. There's the only.
You can drive,
Yeah,
but you
you
can't
can
drive on the
physically
road.
do one client a day for
Yeah, you
that
can't
takes
drive
you
on the
8 hours.
road.
But then
Exactly.
all of a sudden you got to do 8 clients a day in less than 1 hour each. And like, I managed it through the skin of my teeth.
I used to say that that first year you just spent crying.
Oh God, yeah, I've come home crying many times.
In
But then I
the
started.
staff room like that,
Oh yeah, oh
like
yeah.
blinking at the light.
Luckily, I had a very humorous friend, which is where probably all my hairdresser humour started. We'll refer to him simply as Doctor Manager.
Okay, doctor manager.
Not very good at Instagram either, but absolutely hilarious. Thinks he's a doctor. Borderline is a doctor. And later on in my story, diagnosed me with appendicitis, and he was correct.
Oh, right. This story.
So he's in the story.
Oh, right. Well, I feel I should know who he is then, because I know the rest of the story.
Well, yes. So, well, I'll tell you offline
Well,
in case he doesn't want his name mentioned. But he used to do
absolutely.
things like sellotape his face into like a facelift. We had all kinds of hilarious fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it was the way it was back then, and you never got a break and all the rest of it. But we did have hilarious fun.
I think you have to.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to. And also quite common to have a raging drink problem back then as well.
I'm lucky I don't have that one, but mine's
I
clean.
don't anymore. But I was very good at it. It's
Yeah.
very good at
I
would you
need a
like
lazy dog to calm me.
oh look at her. My cat's normally in here and she's abandoned me. So you were doing your MCE and you were you working in the chain at this point or
Yeah, I was working in a big chain salon for my boss, who I still know now. And I did that for a few years. It was looking back, it was really hard, but I did love it.
what was hard?
Just just the well, the no breaks. But I'm not trying to blame anyone for it being the way it was. It just was. Like we didn't question anything, did we?
I mean, I think it is entirely down to men running an industry of women.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, but my boss was a woman. A doctor manager is questionably a man. But I think a lot of it was culture as well, because
Yeah,
and there was
definitely
this air of, and I'm still
learned.
friends with a lot of these people. There was an air of competition where you didn't want to have your break because then they'd take more. I'm
Yeah.
sure this is industry wide for other industries as well.
I
But
think it is in beauty and hair
yeah,
and probably things like sales,
yeah.
you
I'm
know.
sure every industry has its issues, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But having gone through my health and motherdom struggles, I can't work like that anymore. So basically, fast forward to I did my teaching qualifications. I did a degree. I was a college lecturer for a while, but I did love that job. So I used to, I ended up sort of doing 2 days a week for them while I taught. But somewhere along the line, I just started getting these stomach pains and problems. And I won't go too into the toilet talk. We'll save that for the DMs. I went backwards and forwards to the doctors, and they just told me I had IBS. They'd do scan. No, I can't find anything scan. IBS. One consultant actually said, "Oh, you've just got IBS. Go and Google it." And I was relieved because I wanted it to just be that. But I've learned now, if you don't believe your doctor, just get another opinion. Otherwise, death might happen.
Honestly, like, the lady I
You
was
want to
talking
believe the
to,
good, don't you? And I think he was busy that day, and I probably didn't seem that ill to look at me, but I kept having these episodes of terrible pain, like terrible, where I couldn't get up off the floor and I was sick. And I would text Dr. Manager and go, I can't stand up. Surely this isn't IBS. Surely not. And he'd say, well, it is really painful. And I thought, okay, maybe I'm just a wuss. Because it's really hard to know what your level of tolerance is in comparison to
and
someone else.
somebody else, yeah, absolutely.
And even when you go in hospital and they say, "Well, what's your level of pain like on 1 to 10?" I'm like, "Give me the basis for comparison. What's 10?" Some people think a paper cut is 10. Some people think giving birth is a 10. You can't. It's really
It's
hard.
relative. It's
Yeah,
all relative.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can't get up off the floor, but maybe other people can, and maybe I'm just not handling this well. It seemed to settle down. So I was doing my teaching 3 days a week, and by this point I'd got a promotion. I was travelling all across the country, which I loved, but it was a bit difficult on non-symptom free days, shall we say, when I had these flare-ups of this pain. But I just believed I'd got IBS, travelled the country, did my 2 days hairdressing.
What were
Then
you doing when you were traveling the country?
I was teaching college lecturers.
Okay,
Like
so
we
you
had these
thought the
contracts with these colleges. So, I suppose I don't want to big myself up, but I suppose it was a good job.
that's a big deal.
Yeah. Um,
And also,
go on.
big yourself up.
I know, I shouldn't I?
Like, don't be
I sit here
humble.
with lazy dog thinking I'm just little me.
Like, be proud of yourself and
Yeah, I have
proud.
students still contact me and go, "Oh, what do you think of this?" And I think, "Oh, they care what I think." I know.
Be proud of
So,
your achievements.
next chapter, I got pregnant. and the symptoms seemed to go. So I was just jollying along. I got really, really sick, like really, really sick.
How old are
That
your
was an issue.
children?
Well, she's now 9.
Okay.
I've since had another one that's 3 because, we talk about potty training and stuff. I didn't think there would be a second after the hideousness first, but we got there in the end. That's why there's a gap. And anyway, the symptoms came back with a vengeance. And I used to say to my mum, "Is it normal to be in like loads of pain, while you're pregnant?" She's like, "It doesn't normally hurt, like the birth maybe." Anyway, one day I was in the salon. I think I did 6 clients, mega clients as well. And I was violently being sick in between them. My boss actually sat with me for a bit and I was debating whether I could do the day. I managed. I don't know how I managed. I don't know. My sick was green. And at that point, I should have thought, sick's not green.
So should your boss.
Well, we like her, so we don't mind. But to be fair, I never went in the staff room and said my sick's green. IBS, morning sickness, all day sickness. It shouldn't be called morning sickness. And it kind of again it's kind of cleared up. I got through the day. I went home. I thought, okay, it was just another little episode of this IBS. Bit sick, and I started writhing around on the settee. And my now husband, who wasn't my husband then, called 111 because us millennials, we don't like to go straight for 999.
Oh no.
No, no, no.
I don't like
First
to
of
see a
all, we asked
doctor unless I have
Facebook, then
to.
we asked Dr. Manager, and then only if death persists do we then call an ambulance.
I'm terrible with my kids. They're like dragging along broken legs, and I'm like, have some cowpole.
Yeah, exactly.
Be fine.
So, but he called 111, and by this point, I was screaming. And the bloke on the or woman on the 111 said, I can hear her. I'll call an ambulance." When the ambulance man got there, after many failed consultant interviews, the ambulance man, I don't know how qualified they are, but I think they are fairly qualified, but
Yeah,
they're not meant to diagnose, I don't think, are they? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know the ins and outs of it, but they know
No,
their shit. They're
that's my
seeing.
other job that I would love to do one day. He said to me, "You've got appendicitis." I said, "No, no, I've had loads of doctors and consultants say I haven't. It's not that." And he went, "I've been doing this for 40 years. You've got appendicitis." And at this point, I was 22 weeks pregnant, having a menti bill. Oh my God, somehow I believe you. Over all these people who are much more qualified to tell me, but I just knew he was right. When you just know, he just said
Yeah,
it with such confidence.
fiction.
Yeah, yeah, and he just knew his stuff. And so more scans, more hospital visits, and it basically, when I'd had the IBS years before, it was my appendix. It had exploded, and I'd had this rare thing where it had attached itself to my bowel and formed an abscess, which is why I didn't die. So all the goo and the poison was in this abscess because my body went, "I'm not going to let you kill me." So it sort of fought against it,
It's
but
that
I
northern
didn't.
spirit.
So I was left with this sort of huge abscess that every time it raged and gave me like this pain for a day or two and then went away, I thought I was having an IBS attack. It was actually poison. I shouldn't be laughing, it's not funny. And I think what happened was my doctor, I should have said this going back to the beginning, actually sent me into hospital with suspected appendicitis, but they said, "No, it's not, it's not, it's not." And that started a chain of reaction where every doctor believed the last doctor that said it wasn't. So they were looking in the wrong direction. So I ended up 31, pregnant, very sick, and then with septic appendicitis.
That's pretty metal.
Yeah. I even said my goodbyes at one point. It was that
I
horrific.
mean, I've had appendicitis. I've had my appendix out,
Yeah.
and that is, by the sounds of it, a fucking walk in the park.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A woman said to me actually, because I've never technically given birth. I then had to have 2 cesareans, and a woman who I met said to me, "I've had appendicitis, and I've given birth 3 times, and I'd give birth any day over appendicitis," and that made me feel better.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
it was pretty grim,
It's
and
grim.
I think I ended up having nearly 18 months off work in the end. So when I did finally go back, go on.
Probably a good thing.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You apparently worked through being poisoned.
Well, nobody knew, not even me. But that last day, Dr. Manager said, think it might be your appendix. At which point I'd been told by that many proper doctors that it wasn't. I was like, nah, I don't think so. Like, they'd have got it by now, wouldn't they? So anyway, operation while I was pregnant, just about got through that. Another operation to have an emergency cesarean 6 weeks later because it didn't solve it. It went more septic. Another operation 2.5 to 3 years later because they found that they hadn't got all of it that was stuck to my bowel because they could only do what they could do while they had a live fetus inside me.
Really? That's
So
strange.
when I think back, the bravery of that surgeon to operate on me, and when I came round, he said, "I saw your baby." And I couldn't quite take it in at the time. But when I think back, this all happened on the day David Bowie died as well, just
Oh,
to
so
add
it's
that
already a big
drama in.
fucking day.
It was a big day. I came round and I saw on the next day Barry had gone. It's just the 10-year anniversary of that, isn't it? So it was 10 years ago.
Do you want to know what I was doing on that day? Which
What?
seems quite appropriate. I donated my eggs to a couple, and the day that they were removed or harvested to
Yeah.
be transferred over was the day David Bowie died.
Yeah, it was quite a cosmic day then, wasn't
It
it?
was. It
Oh,
really was
I
big.
remember it. Oh my God.
So
So
you
yeah, I
saw
ended
your
up having,
baby
I know,
inside you.
I know. And actually my bowels, I had to have two teams of surgeons, the baby surgeons, I always forget what they call them. You'll know,
Consultants? I don't
there's
know.
a well, there's a
Registrars?
and the surgical surgeons, if you like, had to team together. And my bowel surgeon, who I still see for checkups, had never delivered a baby because that wasn't her thing, and she was all emotional over it because she helped deliver this baby. I was under a general anaesthetic, obviously, having some relief for the first time in months. And she came to find my mum and said, "Oh, your granddaughter's here."
This
And
is
this all
fucking
happened over.
wild.
Oh, I know. That was it. She came 6 weeks early in the February, and I didn't. I went back in December, just part time, because although I wasn't due back till after Christmas, I thought, when you just need a bit of normality. And
100%. I know I found like when I first had Dylan, so Dylan's 15, the loss of identity.
sorry, lazy dog's just having to have a bit of tea. She
No,
only drinks out of certain mugs for your viewers. I'm not disgusting.
she's a brew. She loves a brew. But yeah, the loss of identity is massive.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like because our jobs are so intense and
Yeah.
there
And of
is so much
course, your clients know what's happened. And I didn't want them not to know because you don't want to have to repeat it 75,000 times, do you? Especially if
like
it's a bit
just
emotional.
laminate it and give it to
Yeah,
clients. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
To your
Right.
appointment. Avoid talking about this. So I went back in the December and then finished my maternity leave off actually after the Christmas because, who wants to work in January? That's why we're doing this now.
Exactly.
So yeah, that brings me up to being a mother, when by which point I'd had several mental breakdowns. Which I didn't really know about the mental. I didn't know anything about mental health until I gave birth, to be honest.
I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah,
Because you've
nothing at
never
all.
when you are plunged into looking after another human being,
Yeah,
your brain isn't priority, and
no,
it, it's wild.
yeah,
It's,
and especially I don't know what your births were like, but I couldn't walk for days.
so with Dylan, I've actually got a post coming out about it soon. I was on embarrassing bodies.
Oh, you've told me this.
Yeah,
But
so
I looked and I couldn't find you.
yeah,
Was it in the archives?
you pervert. But yeah, I couldn't work for 2 years because I was incontinent.
Yeah.
Like, and that was like I lost my identity as a hairdresser and my
As
identity
a result of birth.
as yeah. And then, my identity as a mum was completely tainted from a traumatic labor, single mum on benefits.
Yeah,
Like, it's wild.
yeah.
It's absolutely wild.
So that takes me up to 2017.
Right?
I was back hairdressing, but as a completely different person,
Literally.
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 Well, it's actually 2018 I finished having the operations. Just before my wedding, I found out I'd got to have this other operation. I said to my surgeon, "Well, I'm getting married in May. Will I be fixed by then?" Because this was the November. And I'd just been through an operation that had ruined 18 months of my life. Oh my God, I'm going to have to like change everything. And there's that famous picture of the wedding dress made of toilet roll. I thought I have to get one of them. But she was amazing and she did it. And in January 2018, when she finally got the last bit out and had to take part of my bowel out and put it back together, that was, it still causes me issues, but I was well again.
It adds character.
It does, yeah.
You've got a lot of
She
character.
did not give me that piece of bowel in a jar like I expected, but
How rude.
that would have been a good story. But
Got
I
a couple
think
of
by that
themes
point,
going on here.
but by the point you've nearly died, I think it opens your mind. Whatever job you do, it opens your mind to. It doesn't really matter because I could be dead tomorrow.
100%. It is, yeah, it definitely puts things into perspective for
Yeah,
you.
it really does. It really does.
Definitely. So, you were employed at this point or
Yeah,
self?
I was employed at that point. Let me think. I was one of those people that, although I was part time then, I went back part time after my daughter. I stayed employed till, as I like to call it, the Panny D, where everything changed for me again, really, because I sort of thought, oh, I'd like another child, but that was pretty rough. I don't know if I can go through that again. I
Bit
don't know if I
tainted.
exactly. I don't know if I can have any more. And with not just the surgery complications, but I'd been that sick with my first one. I thought, do I really want to have to go in hospital while there's a national emergency going and I might come out worse than I went in? So I did my homeschooling as Boris told me to and put it out of my head and just, well, for the first lucky day, I'm not going to lie, enjoyed the sun.
Oh my God. Honestly,
Terrible and everything, but thank God we had all right weather for that first
that
one.
was gorgeous. That was fucking
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Went for my hourly walk every day, which I don't do now because you
No,
only want to do something when you're told, oh, you can't really do that. We'll just give you a little allowance. You do it then. As soon as it's free for you, I don't do it anymore.
I
No,
can't.
no thanks.
I'll look out the window.
Aren't we funny creatures? So yeah, while that was going on, I don't know if I put this in, but my mum's got a salon. And do you remember that whole it was coming to the end of what we thought was going to be the lockdowns and all your whether you were employed, self-employed, whatever, clients were going bonkers. Can you do my hair? Can I be first? My phone was blowing. I was only part-time at this stage, so I was surprised how many people were contacting me. And I was getting like, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can face this.
It was wild.
Oh my God.
Absolutely
But my
insane.
mum used to, she's nearly 72 now, so she was gradually cutting down her hours to help me with childcare. And she was like, I've got to get through all these clients. I don't know whether I can do the same childcare as I did before. So it kind of left me to a natural close in employment, really, because my childcare situation was changing. I was also having oh my God, because bear in mind, I say half a bowel, I'm exaggerating. I've got a piece of missing bowel by this point, which, mate, I'm glad to be alive, don't get me wrong, but it makes life a little bit more complex.
Doesn't come
I've
without
got
issues.
Yes, I don't know how I'm going to get through 10 clients a day, standing up all day in full PPE. I was getting a bit like, I don't think I can face this. And I was just sitting in the garden one day, and a client who I'd done on and off for many, many years did can you fit me in when you come back? And I said, I knew her quite well. So I thought, I don't know if I'm going to go back. Like I'm sorting out childcare. I don't know if I want to go back. And I suddenly thought, people are asking me for me. So I was literally lying in the garden, lovely afternoon. My husband was home, and I said, can you build a salon there for me? Because he's a builder. And he rang his cousin who works for him and went, yeah, start bricking up that window tomorrow. And like, this fascinates me because how can they just do that? How can they just go, yeah, do that then? I'm like, what? Are you like Minecraft? You can just build something because it came into
You
your
like
head.
Minecraft? I mean, that is impressive.
I mean, I think this is why in my mind I put down what I do because I think, oh, I did some highlights today. He built a house. In my mind, there's no comparison, but we have different types of skills. They're equally as valid.
You can't do highlights.
We
You can't
can't.
build a house. Nah, I don't tolerate that bullshit.
Yeah. So
Incredible.
it started the next day. It took a while because I had to go through the getting the planning permissions and blah blah blah. And what I did in the meantime, I worked for my mom. So I had a bit of a easy introduction to self-employment in that she employed me, but she didn't care what I did. So
Lovely.
it was the nicest 18 months of my working career in a way. I had a boss and someone to take responsibility, but not really. And she was like,
Okay.
"Yeah, just come do your clients. If you're free, you can help me. If not, just go out, go home, do what you want." But
Right.
I knew I was building up ready for my own salon, so I used it to my advantage. But it was because when you suddenly take the helm and you're the boss, even if it's just you, it's a level of responsibility that you would never wait, like never expecting, isn't it?
You cannot comprehend. You
No,
can't you can't read enough books. You can't listen to
no,
enough podcasts.
no.
And there will always be a disaster that you didn't expect.
No, even my first few clients who found me through, well, through the magic of social media, few I knew already. I was like, I've done your hair loads of times. Why am I so scared? And it's that, oh, there's no backup if it goes wrong now.
Hey,
And it never has gone wrong, but you know it's on you.
100%. It's very different,
Yeah.
very, very different. And I think, we all run from employment because we want to do a better job because we fucking hated it. And often we can do a better job, but I don't think we always appreciate the gaps that employment filled for
Oh
us.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I say I love being my own boss, but I am very reluctant to slag off what I used to do because it had its negatives, but it had its massive positives, and one of them was not having the responsibility
Yeah.
and clocking off at 5 or 6 or whatever your clock off time was, and you genuinely have. That's
Oh,
never the case now.
no, never. I mean, all of my self-employment, even when I was in hidden employment, I was never just clocking off.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's wild, but I mean, I love it now.
I mean, I love it in the sense that, okay, I've got to do an early nursery pickup that day, so I just won't book anyone. Those are the things you can't get in employment.
100%.
The
100%.
Saturdays, I loved working Saturdays. It was banter, but as my elder one grew up, and then I had another one. I was like, four a year is not enough.
No, it's
And when you
not.
get them four, you feel like I was just thinking about this before you came on. You got to do something so bonkers and high energy to make those four worth it that you end up resenting it. You can't ever have just a Saturday to chill with your family.
No, that needs to change.
Yeah, yeah. So now with the exception of very few who can't come in the week, long-term clients, I don't work Saturdays
I do one a
because
month.
I've done them for 22 years.
I've done my time in hell. I do one a month, and it's always the
Nice
same.
vibe, don't they? I
It's
don't
the
hate
same
them. It's
people.
just it doesn't fit in very well with family life.
Oh, now I'm in the salon that I'm in. It's totally tolerable, but the last salon I was in was just manic.
Yeah, and don't you think people's schedules are I mean, people will say to me, "I want to come in the week because
Lovely.
I don't want to waste my Saturday because I don't know what you do, but a lot of my jobs are big jobs. They don't want to sit in the salon for 4 hours on a Saturday."
But I think the pandemic did that.
Yeah, yeah,
It did reshuffle things, and now I know that, people are trying to reshuffle them back, but there's real resistance.
yeah, yeah,
People have got flexibility, like let's use it.
yeah, yeah. So I
So,
think me doing this 20 years ago probably wouldn't have worked the same as it has now.
100%.
So it's
You
a
don't have,
progression in all ways, isn't it?
yeah, 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 absolutely. You don't have the right attitudes. Like
No.
when you're young, you want the support.
Yeah.
You want sick pay,
Yeah.
right? I want to pull a sickie. I never pull sickies now unless my kids are, or I'm dying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I've got a good culture in my own business that
Yeah.
isn't as common in employment.
No, no,
It is quite savage.
yeah.
But what do you think needs to change? What would you, if you could change anything for mums and women in hairdressing, what would you love to see?
Oh God, I'm not the chancellor. I can't solve all the problems. Although when I'm in the salon, I feel like I can. And I get to the end of my clients, and I'm like, well, why don't they just do what we just said? We've solved everything.
Fucking simple.
You know what? It's just not simple, is it? Because I've seen it from both. My mum is a salon owner, so I don't want to go and bash the salon owners. But like you always say, it's over, I don't know the percentage, but it's over 80% women, isn't it, hairdressing?
84 in the UK, and when you
Yeah.
start adding in the Americas, it's like 90% plus.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's difficult because and when you were first doing it, there was basically employment, and you'd have your few mobile ones, but they were no competition.
The little metal tins
Yeah,
and a check.
yeah. So you were employed, or you were basically someone doing it in your kitchen. Whereas now I don't know the percentages again, but I feel like it's 50-50 employment or self-employment now. It's completely changed. So there is that choice now, and there wasn't a choice back then. And I didn't have my kids till my 30s, but quite honestly, I don't know how I would have done it if I'd have done it in my 20s, because the system just didn't allow for it.
It's not, there's no support there.
I mean, I've seen that going off hairdressing slightly. I've seen that story about that GP who booked in fake patients, and I'm so on the fence about this because yes, she shouldn't have done that, but that was the only way she was going to fulfil her momming obligation of
did
getting
you,
to childcare on time.
did you see the comparison? So that she has been suspended for 5 months. And then did you look at what other male counterparts have been suspended for the same amount of time?
No, I don't think I did see that. Go on, humour me.
Sexual assault.
Oh, really?
Like it's all sexually inappropriate behavior
Yeah.
that they have been suspended for 5 months for when she is just a woman trying to pick up her kids.
And it's not like she was trying to do some. It's.
She's not
I think it was
sexually
spun like she was
assaulting
trying to get time
anybody.
off. She just wanted to go on actual time when her pay finishes. And that was always the panic with me. I used to. I mean, I was pretty young and free at that time. It didn't bother me if I worked 15 minutes over, but it would have if I was getting to a school run.
100%. I mean, we have you ever like been late for after school club and they're the last one sat there and you're like,
Well, thankfully, because of my anxiety about the whole thing, no. But it doesn't make it any easier, does it? Because I'm there
now
first, and oh no.
with Dylan, like I was a single mum. He's 15. That was my chair, not not me. Yeah, he's definitely been sat in after school club because
Yeah.
salon. I appreciate you saying about your mum. I love your mum. Your mum's wonderful. I'm sure she's not horrible, but overwhelmingly, the people I've worked for as a mum when I was employed have been awful,
Yeah.
awful.
Well, I've experienced a lot of different salons around the country, and I mean, the last time I taught on that scale was more than 10 years ago now, and I'm hoping things are different now because you go in and you get a little sort of
Snippet.
yeah snippet of how they all work, and there's few and far between that I would have thought, oh, I'll up sticks and come and work here because it's just
It's cultural.
really
I think
hard. It is.
it's ingrained in the
Yeah.
fibre. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the post that I put up last night about are we ready to talk about sexism in the industry yet, basically. All the comments is just men saying, I am full of shit, I'm a piece of shit. It's just like that's literally the
Well,
problem.
that's the thing that I think needs to change. Just can't we just be nice to each other? Like, can't we? I mean, you see these reels, don't you, of how apprentices used to be treated with their toothbrush and how they're treated now getting fanned. I mean, they're extremes, but I think treatment of the younger
I think
ones wasn't great, was it?
it's in the middle. You know,
Yeah.
we want
Just
it's never going to be like perfect. Employment isn't perfect,
no,
but
no.
it can be a hell of a lot better than it was. I
I
mean,
mean, I think now I'm not sure I could get down and clean with the toothbrush now.
I think I the PTSD of picking up a toothbrush every morning. My old boss used to look at me and go blitz, and that meant get on the floor with the toothbrush on the skirting boards.
Well, do you know what I found when I went back briefly to employment after being a mom is doing clients was quite enough to then have to do all the cleaning in between with my half a bowel and my, all my, you know, hormonal surges and different things. I mean, I did get diagnosed with I don't like to say this because people have been to war and I haven't, but they did say I'd got PTSD from the terribility of the
What?
first birth. I know, don't downplay it. I
Harm on
know.
yourself.
I know, I know. So
I
I've got all
mean,
that going on. And I thought, God, to do these 8 clients a day is all I can do. In between, I just need to sit down. And we were still at a point
I
then
mean,
where,
the fact that that is even a question is insane. Like people don't realize that you're not allowed to sit down. You can't have a drink on the shop floor. You have to be on like watching what people are doing constantly. It's that is
I
insane.
think I think breaks need to be put in your schedule as law
And
at a
you
bare
can't
minimum.
look over them.
No, no.
Oh, I've
It's
squeezed a full head of highlights in that half an hour gap.
well, I did a reel about that, didn't I, with Lee Evans, and it got over 100,000 views. So I think we're not alone in thinking that.
Well, I mean, this is what I'm really seeing. And I speak to people over in America, Canada. This is not just in the UK. This is across hairdressing,
Mm.
you know.
And when I talk to my mum, like going back another generation, she'll say, "Oh, I had to do a set every 4 minutes. I'd move along, 4 clients, each one would go under the dryer, and then as I finished the fourth one, the first one would be coming out the dryer, and that would just be on repeat all day. Different type of pressure to what we're under, doing a colour every 45 minutes or whatever. But like, oh my God! So you'd
Four
go,
minutes. I don't think I could do a set
I
now.
know
I
that
don't.
that
I
was the
don't
thing. Then they all came in for their sets every
yeah, yeah,
week,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Takes me 4 minutes to put a roller in.
Yeah.
Let
Those
alone
tiny,
that.
my first ever boss was all blow dries and cuts. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those sets and the top. Oh yeah, no.
And so I think it has progressed since she was hairdressing, even to our millennial selves, because she would say, we weren't supplied gloves, my hands were terrible, all the stuff was the cheapest ever. She said to me yesterday, if I wanted gloves, I had to buy them. So what? So there is progression, even though all us millennial hairdressers have had it rough in some way. When you go back to my mum's generation of doing it in the 70s,
It's all relative, isn't it?
yeah,
It's
it is. And then
always.
in another 10 years, we'll think the way
Oh,
we worked was terrible.
got
Now,
to do better. We've got to do
we've just got to
better.
keep doing better, haven't we?
Got to just keep doing, like, come on, guys. It
We just
doesn't have.
need progress in everything.
You know what I find really interesting though, and you're doing it as well, and I do it. Um, how we laugh about it
I know.
because it's fucking.
I
Some
know.
of the stories I'm told on a daily basis are unreal. Unreal. And like you wouldn't get that in other industries.
Yeah.
And then we're like, and then you'll never guess.
But this is why I love my job, because I think you get similar stories in other industries and we get to hear them. And sometimes I think, actually, I'm glad I'm an hairdresser. I
Yeah,
think there is this in everything, isn't there? And
yeah. Well,
I
it's
try and
it's a
be fair when I
mystery.
talk about. I mean, in one sense, it was very, very, very hard the early years, but in another sense, I wouldn't have all the skills and education I've got if it weren't for those years.
No,
So I try and balance
I
it out.
know it's such a head fuck, isn't it?
But put me back in employment and make me do 10 clients a day. I think I'd be crying by the second.
I don't think I could now. I do like two, three
Yeah,
clients a day.
yeah. But when you're doing you're assisting yourself and you're washing off and you cut, you obviously you can't do as many. But I don't know. I just think looking back, I'm able to be in a maturer place where I can reflect on it. I wasn't there at 21. I just wanted my wages and go down the town and get drunk at the end of the week.
100%. Absolutely.
Didn't
That's what
even think
employment did for
anything of
me.
anything. I just
Right.
thought this is how it is. Wages. We used to go to Debenhams, buy Juicy Tube, and then go, I know.
God. Yes. Fucking juicy tubes. Oh, core
I
memory
think that
unlocked.
little cohort of people that I worked with then, who I'm mostly still friends with, are all self-employed now. I think all, yeah. So I don't know where it's going, because you see all this, and that's another way the industry split: employed versus self-employed. I see all this like they're fighting between each other.
No.
I've got a friend who's a salon owner, and I'm only me, like you're only you. I can only do so many clients, and he's very good. And if I can't take them on, I send them to him as a salon owner
I,
who employs. I've got nothing against them.
I see. I don't do gents, and
Yeah,
I don't do little kids,
yeah,
and I don't do hair up, and I will refer them to one of the salons I used to work in, and I will refer them to other people.
yeah, yeah.
I
We haven't got to be against each other,
we,
have
we
we?
don't. I think as soon as we realize how fucking powerful we are together,
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter. Like I don't care whether, and it happens in parenting, it happens in work. It's just like stop fighting against each other and just unite.
yeah,
Like I don't care, but I do like apprenticeships are bottoming out, and that's worrying.
yeah, yeah.
That is worrying. But I do think because of everything we've just pissed ourselves for in the last hour, you know. which is why I feel really strongly about being honest about money and hours and what is possible, because it doesn't have to be a shit show and you can earn money and you don't have to sell your soul to the devil.
Well, I just did a trial reel last night, actually, because a couple of years ago I did a price breakdown and there was a lot of said about it. I thought, oh, prices have moved on now, I'll redo it. So I put one on last night and it said, genuine question, what do you think a self-employed hairdresser should earn hourly? I didn't go into the whole, we have overheads and we might have employees, we might not have employees and all that. First answer was, well, the same as your employees because they're putting in the same effort. I thought 21-year-old me was not putting in the same effort as my boss.
21-year-old me and we're not even the same person.
So it's a level of
Yeah.
non-understanding of from I mean, I don't know whether it was a hairdresser or not. I don't think it was a hairdresser, but it's difficult to understand self-employment from an employed, lovely salary, sick pay perspective, even if you only get minimum wage, because minimum wage is not that bad.
Yeah, but then you've got the other perks that go with it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I'm like, yeah, I don't think I would spend all these last 22 years progressing to earn the same as I earned before because it's only fair. I have to do all the other stuff. And I was like, okay, do you really think Elon Musk is going to pay himself the same as his bottom employee? It just doesn't work. And yet the same people saying that do expect a pay rise every year and promotions for more money. And
And this is it. I can't.
you need to educate people as to how to see it. You need to
I
start a
I
movement.
can't keep my cool on this one
Mm,
because so much of the finance side of things, it isn't just a case of I'm just going to put my prices up,
yeah.
There's so much mindset work that nobody even comprehends. How many people have, I can't charge that. Yes, you
Yeah.
fucking
I've
can.
literally worked out my 2026 prices this morning.
I mean, I'm holding a class on Wednesday inside my group going into how to break down your profit, how to price for profit, how to work out every single gram of
Yeah.
product.
Because
You
if you
know,
don't have profit and your GHGs go, that's you paying out of your wage for them GHGs, or the hydraulic chair that's 500 quid, or the backwash. And I
you
saw
know,
someone on Ruth. I saw someone on Ruth's go, "What? You're charging clients for coffee?" Well, oh God,
God, I
not in the
saw.
sense that you say it's an extra 2.99, but obviously it has to be costed in.
Yes, exactly. You know, your phone bill. You
Yeah,
contacted me on a phone.
yeah,
That is paid for. The
yeah.
petrol to go to the wholesalers. Being in the wholesalers, which by the way, isn't fun anymore.
No, no.
You know,
Online for me, thanks.
everything has to be accounted for, but people don't see that. They just see I'm sat in this chair having a root tin, and
Yeah.
that tube of colour was £14.
Yeah, yeah. So it should be £14. Well, when I was last teaching, actually, I did a bit of cover in it was 2020 or 2021 because we were still wearing all the PPE. I did a bit of cover in a college, and one of the girls said to me because they were learning, she said, my friend said she'll do my hair silver. I was like, first of all,
Oh,
10 years after qualifying, I was borderline only getting okay at silver,
I'm
let
so
alone.
I'm so glad that's over.
Well, my friend said she'll do my hair silver, but she wants 40 quid. Do you think that's fair? And I said, well, she'll make no money and she'll have to pay you. She'll be paying you to have it done. I was like, so you want to become a hairdresser, but you don't want to pay for your own hair. But that wasn't the students' fault. It's just that people don't
It's
understand.
society.
Yeah.
It's and things like I hate Groupon. I hate Treatwell. I just think you don't see any other trades. You don't see it in building, you don't see it in plumbing, you don't see it in carpentry where it's expected to have a discount to have these
Yeah.
people, and that is it's down to pink collar work.
Yeah. Yeah. However, we're not going to get replaced by AI.
No, we fucking aren't.
So this household right here, run by a hairdresser and a builder, we'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. I love it. Like my eldest wants to be a carpenter, and I'm like, brilliant.
Yeah.
Off you
Do the things that only humans can do. Because that's another thing, isn't it? I mean, that wasn't a thing.
No.
With social media, it just, I remember eyeing up a mug that I wanted to buy for Dr. Manager. I bought him one that said Drama Queen in the end. But this mug said, it was a jokey mug. I only come to work for the gossip and the free use of Facebook. Because you had to go to a computer to log onto your Facebook, which may or may not have been the work one in between clients.
Remember my
Like,
face?
it seems bonkers now that you couldn't just flick onto your DMs. Like, what?
I know. I know.
And if you left the salon, nobody ever heard of you again
No.
because nobody could contact
Nobody,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or a little ad in the paper if you were being really,
If
really
you were splashing
bougie,
out, yeah.
you know? Absolutely wild, right?
And now I think what's changed the industry more than anything is you're findable wherever you go.
Yep, yep, yep. And people, yeah, your clients, even if you leave, they'll
Yeah,
find you. It's
yeah,
not a problem.
yeah.
It's not terrifying.
No.
That sick feeling. And
To
guess
the
what?
point where actually I was starting to think in the panny day, oh God, stop
I
asking,
can
I
I
can't do
can
everyone.
remember I can remember booking a whole salon in. So I was not just booking my column, I was booking everyone.
It was actually quite, I mean, I know we weren't the medics, but God, it felt like it on that first few weeks.
I do think this is such a valid point though, because especially now, blow dry gate.
Yes, yeah.
Like,
Oh God, that was a cheap blow dry, that was.
did everyone forget how much they wanted to see their
Oh,
hairdresser?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nobody, it wasn't about going to the surgeons. It wasn't about, having your marketing done, your advertising. It was about having your house cleaned. It was
yeah,
about having your hair done. It was about getting your kitchen done. Actually, trades are really, really, really special. And I'm
yeah,
really proud to be a part of that.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like I don't know whether you feel like this, but my hairdressing career as somebody that was born in 1984 was before the Panny Day and after the Panny Day.
Yes.
I mean, it started to merge with a bit of social media before,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that
yeah.
split my working time in two, really, because everything changed after that then.
Definitely, 100%. And actually, as hard as it was post-pandemic, like I had a rough time, I am in such a better place right now.
Yeah, yeah,
And I would not be here. I wouldn't know you.
yeah.
Like that's literally a fact.
This is why people moan about social media, but when you are a mum and you're self-employed, it's your little gateway to
100%.
socialise, making up words there,
Yes.
little friendships and keeping in touch. I mean, my mum moved away from the Birmingham where we lived to Cannock in the early 90s. She had me and my brother, and no Facebook. If you phoned someone, they were either at work or busy. She was so lonely, and we don't have that now, do we?
Oh, I've got a lovely little community online
Yeah,
and like they're awesome.
yeah,
And now I've created a community for other people. Yes, it can be terrible, but
yeah,
so can everything.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so is there anything you want me to know?
Uh, in the sense of parenting with hairdressing,
Anything?
I think my message, if I could fit it in my bio, which I can't, is progression. Because, like I said, yes, we had it tough, but the generation before had it tougher, which means we can't see it, but we've got it tough in some ways now. And in another 10 or 20 years, it'll be better. We've just got to keep
Keep,
progressing, haven't we?
keep moving forwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's still stuff that needs to be ironed out. It's still not always fair for women, but I'm not always saying it's fair for men either. It needs to be fairer, but will we ever get there? I don't know, but we've got to strive to get there, haven't we?
We got to try.
Yeah.
We've got to try. And I always like to finish on a funny.
I'm full of those.
So tell me something unhinged or hilarious that one of your kids has said or done. It doesn't have to be recent, but if it is,
I mean, I've got one from last night. So I was
brilliant.
eating a dairy milk bar whilst telling him we hadn't got any chocolate.
Obviously.
And he said, "Can I have a bar?" I said, "We haven't got any." "What are you eating?" I went, "Chicken." And he went, "Let me see." So it's an intelligent little thing.
Not chicken.
No, it was a dairy milk bar that was not the same colour of chicken.
Very unwell chicken. And where can people find you, Karen?
I've recently changed this because I didn't feel like people knew who the 90s band the KLF were, which was my maiden initials. Um, so let me see if I can get it right. At the underscore millennial underscore hairdresser.
Okay, okay. Perfect. Right, lovely. See you later.
Bye.